All right, so AI, it's like
Yeah.
everywhere these days,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But how do you cut through all the hype? Like, how do you figure out what's actually worth paying attention to?
Right.
That's what we're going to dive into today.
Yeah.
We've got the 2024 Gartner Hype Cycle Report
Mm-hmm.
for AI. And it's kind of like think of it as like a crystal ball, but for tech trends,
Okay.
specifically all things AI.
Gotcha.
So you know that feeling like when a new gadget comes out
Yeah.
and everyone's going crazy for it,
Right.
and then like a few months later, it's collecting dust in a drawer.
Yeah.
So the hype cycle, that's what it maps out,
Interesting.
a whole roller coaster ride. But for technology, and get this, remember all that buzz about generative AI?
Yeah.
Well, according to Gartner, it's already past its peak hype.
It's fascinating, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, investment in AI overall is booming, but this report, it kind of suggests that generative AI might not be the silver bullet everyone thought it would be. At least not in the short term.
Which is actually great news for you.
Yeah.
Less competition, more opportunity to kind of get ahead of the curve with some of these other AI areas, the
Yeah.
ones that are like quietly becoming, extremely powerful.
Exactly. While everyone's, busy chasing the latest shiny object,
Right.
we're going to uncover those hidden gems
Yeah,
in the AI toolbox.
I love it. Like, secrets out, we're going treasure hunting in the world of AI. Now, Gartner, they've got a system for all this.
Yeah.
They categorize these AI innovations based on like their potential impact, how long until they become mainstream. Where do you want to start?
Let's jump into the transformational category. So, technologies with like the highest potential benefit predicted to hit mainstream adoption in less than 2 years.
All right, so we're talking about AI that's poised to like shake things up
Yes.
in a big way,
Yeah.
fast. What's at the top of the list?
One of the most interesting in this category is composite AI. So instead of relying on just one AI technique, this is about combining multiple methods for a more, powerful, well-rounded approach.
Okay.
Yeah,
So instead of just having a hammer, you've got a whole toolbox full of AI tools.
exactly.
Makes sense. Can you give me an example of how that might play out, like in the real world?
Absolutely. Imagine you're trying to, let's say, optimize a delivery route for like maximum efficiency. You could use like machine learning to analyze, traffic patterns, historical data. But with composite AI, you could also incorporate knowledge graphs.
Okay, hold on. Knowledge graphs.
Yeah.
For someone who might not be familiar, like, how would you explain those?
Think of it as a massive library, but instead of books, it's full of interconnected facts and relationships about your specific domain, like delivery routes in this case.
So you're adding context,
Yes.
real-world knowledge to
Exactly.
the mix, not just crunching numbers.
Precisely. This allows you to factor in things like, road closures, weather conditions, even the availability of like loading docks at different times.
Huh.
You get a much more accurate and like adaptable solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how powerful this like toolbox approach
Yeah.
could be. What else is in this transformational category?
The other major player is computer vision, but I'm sure you're already familiar with this one.
Oh, absolutely. Like my phone unlocks with facial recognition. My social media apps use it to tag photos. It's practically everywhere.
Exactly. It's already like deeply integrated into our lives, and it's only going to become more sophisticated.
So those are the big ones set to make waves in the very near future. But what about the AI trends that are maybe a bit further off, but have the potential to be huge EE down the line?
That brings us to the high benefit category.
Okay.
Gartner estimates these innovations are, I'd say, 2 to 5 years away from mainstream adoption, and they're full of exciting possibilities. Let's start with decision intelligence.
Decision intelligence. I like the sound of that already.
Yeah.
I'm always up for anything that can help me make smarter choices. What's the key innovation here?
Traditional AI, it often focuses on predictions, like what will happen.
Right.
Decision intelligence takes it a step further by recommending the best course of action based on those predictions.
So it's not just giving you data. It's almost like having an AI advisor
Exactly.
in your back pocket.
Imagine you're a retailer trying to decide how to price a new product.
Okay.
You could feed all your data, competitor pricing, market trends, customer demographics into a decision intelligence system.
And it spits out the perfect price point.
It's a bit more nuanced than that, but it analyzes all those factors and recommends a pricing strategy based on your goals. Maybe it suggests dynamic pricing that like adjusts throughout the day. Or perhaps it recommends targeted promotions for specific customer segments. It takes the guesswork out of like complex decisions.
I can see this being a game changer in so many industries,
Yeah.
especially for someone like me who hates making decisions.
It's about empowering us to make more informed choices.
Okay, I'm sold on decision intelligence.
Yeah.
What other AI breakthroughs are we looking at in this 2 to 5 year window?
This is where things get really interesting. We're talking embodied AI.
Embodied AI.
Yeah.
That sounds intense. Break it down for me.
We're talking about AI that's not just software, but is intertwined with like physical or virtual bodies,
Okay.
robots, avatars, even virtual assistants that can interact with the physical world in a much more meaningful way.
Okay, so less talking to Siri,
Yeah.
more having a robot assistant who can actually, do things.
Exactly. Imagine AI-powered robots working alongside, let's say, human surgeons in the operating room, or even assisting with search and rescue operations in dangerous environments.
Wow. We're definitely stepping into the future here. Okay, embodied AI is officially on my radar,
Yeah.
but there's a lot more to unpack in this report, right?
Absolutely. In this same category, we also have foundation models, generative AI itself, intelligent applications, and the very important but sometimes overlooked responsible AI.
Wow. So much ground to cover. We might need a whole separate deep dive just to scratch the surface of those. But for now, I'm curious, what about the technologies that are even further out on the horizon, the ones that are still 5 to 10 years away from mainstream adoption? What's bubbling under the surface in that part of the hype cycle?
In that 5 to 10 year category, one of the most intriguing is neuromorphic computing.
Neuromorphic computing. It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. What is that?
So instead of just mimicking how humans, think,
Right.
imagine trying to replicate the physical structure of the human brain
Okay.
in computer chips. That's essentially what neuromorphic computing is all about.
So we're not just talking about faster processing here. We're talking about a completely different approach to computing. Why go to all that trouble?
Because our brains are wired for things like, pattern recognition, problem solving, even creativity in
Right.
ways that like traditional computers just can't match.
Right.
Neuromorphic computing could unlock a whole new level of AI capability.
Okay, I can see how that would be a game changer. Are there any specific fields where this type of AI could have a major impact?
Absolutely. Think about robotics, where AI needs to react to like constantly changing environments.
Okay.
Or imagine the possibilities in healthcare with AI that can, let's say, analyze complex medical images, but with a human-like understanding.
Neuromorphic computing. Definitely one to keep an eye on. It seems like every time we turn a corner, there's a whole new frontier in AI. Okay, but what are the duds? Are there any AI areas where the report suggests we shouldn't get too excited just yet?
Well, they do place quantum AI in the like low benefit category,
Right.
at least for the foreseeable future.
Quantum AI, isn't that supposed to be the holy grail of computing? What's the holdup?
Quantum computing itself, it is incredibly powerful, but the practical applications for AI, they're still pretty far off. It's like having a supersonic jet engine,
Okay.
when what you really need is a better car.
So for now, we should probably focus on upgrading our AI car before we start dreaming of supersonic jets.
Exactly. There's so much potential in these other areas that are, closer to reality.
That's a good point. Okay, so we've covered the big trends, both the near-term game changers and the ones that are still on that distant horizon. But this report isn't just about identifying trends, is it? It also dives into specific innovations that are worth, paying attention to, right?
Yeah, you got it. The report highlights a number of intriguing innovations that have the potential to be really impactful for businesses and individuals alike.
And that's what I'm most interested in. Let's hear about these hidden gems you've uncovered. What really stood out to you?
One that I found particularly fascinating is something called First Principles AI, or FPAI for short.
FPAI. Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the basic idea behind it?
Remember our earlier discussion about composite AI,
Yeah.
combining different AI methods?
What?
Well, FPAI takes that idea a step further by incorporating fundamental principles.
Right.
Things like the laws of physics, chemical reactions, or even, economic models,
Yeah.
directly into the AI models themselves.
So instead of just learning from data, these AI systems would have a built-in understanding of how the world actually works.
Exactly. It's like the difference between, let's say, memorizing a bunch of historical stock prices
Right.
versus understanding the underlying economic factors that drive those prices.
Okay. I'm starting to see how that could lead to some pretty powerful applications. Give me an example.
Imagine you're designing a new type of battery.
Okay.
With traditional AI, you might train your model on thousands of existing battery designs.
Wow.
But with FPAI, you could actually incorporate the laws of chemistry and physics
Okay.
that govern how batteries work. This would allow you to explore like completely new battery chemistries and designs that might not even exist in your data set.
Wow, that's incredible. So it's not just about making better predictions. It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Precisely. And this approach can be applied to, a wide range of fields,
Right.
from engineering and manufacturing to drug discovery and material science.
Okay. FPAI is officially on my watch list.
Yeah.
What other AI innovations have caught your attention?
Another area that's really worth understanding is causal AI.
Causal AI. Okay, that one sounds self-explanatory,
Yeah.
but I have a feeling it's more complex than it seems. Break it down for me.
You're right. It is a bit more nuanced than it sounds. Most AI today, it excels at identifying correlations.
Okay.
Like people who buy this also buy that.
Right.
But it often struggles to understand the why behind those correlations. Causal AI aims to change that.
So it's about going beyond just observing that two things happen at the same time and actually understanding if one thing is causing the other.
Exactly. Remember the ice cream and sunscreen example we talked about earlier?
Right. Just because they're often purchased together
Yeah.
doesn't mean one causes the other. It's the hot weather that's driving both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Causal AI can tease out those underlying causal relationships, which can be incredibly valuable for making better decisions.
Okay. I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
But how does this play out in the real world? Give me a concrete example.
Sure. Let's say you're a marketer trying to figure out which advertising channels are most effective at driving sales.
Okay.
A traditional AI might analyze your data and say, hey, people who see your ads on social media are more likely to make a purchase. But a causal AI system, it might dig deeper and realize that actually it's the customers who were already highly interested in your product,
Okay.
who are more likely to be on those social media platforms in the first place.
So the real driver of those sales
Ah.
isn't necessarily the social media ads themselves. It's the customer's pre-existing interest.
Exactly. And that's a crucial insight for a marketer because it might mean they should focus their efforts on attracting the right customers rather than just blasting their message on every social media platform.
Causal AI. I'm getting the sense that this could be a game changer in so many fields, from marketing to healthcare to finance. It's like having a superpower that lets you see the hidden connections in the world around you.
It's a powerful tool, for sure. But as with any powerful tool, it's important to use it wisely and ethically.
Absolutely. Speaking of foundations and using things wisely, there's one more topic from the report that I want to make sure we touch on before we wrap up, and that's the importance of data. It's like they say garbage in, garbage out, right?
Yeah.
Even with the most advanced AI, if you're feeding it, like bad data, you're not going to get very far.
You're hitting on a critical point, and it's something that the Gartner report emphasizes as well. They have a whole section on the importance of what they call AI-ready data.
AI-ready data. So it's not just about having a lot of data. It's about having the right kind of data.
Precisely. Think of it this way. You wouldn't try to bake a cake with stale flour and expect it to turn out great, would you?
Right.
The same goes for AI. If your data is inaccurate, incomplete, or, irrelevant, your AI systems simply won't be able to deliver meaningful insights or predictions.
So how do you make sure your data is like AI ready?
Hmm.
What are some practical things businesses should be thinking about?
It starts with data quality, of course, making sure your data is accurate, consistent, and, free from errors. But it goes beyond that. You need to have a solid data strategy in place.
Data strategy. Okay, so we're talking more than just cleaning up a few spreadsheets here and there.
Right. You need to think about how you collect, store, manage, and govern your data. Who has access to it? How is it being used? These are all critical questions, especially with, growing concerns about data privacy and security.
So it's like building a solid foundation before you start, constructing your AI-powered house.
Exactly. And just like a good foundation, having AI-ready data can set you up for success in the long run, regardless of which specific, AI technologies you choose to implement.
That's reassuring. Because sometimes it feels like you need a PhD in data science just to, dip your toes into the AI pool.
You don't need to be a data scientist, but
Mm.
having a basic understanding of like these data principles, that can go a long way. Even just being aware of potential biases in your data can help you make more informed decisions about how to use AI responsibly.
Okay, so to recap our AI deep dive today, we've covered a lot of ground. We learned that while generative AI might have grabbed all the headlines, it's just one piece of a much larger AI puzzle.
Exactly. And some of those other pieces like composite AI and decision intelligence are already making a big impact. While others like, let's say, neuromorphic computing and causal AI, they hold incredible potential for the future.
And we can't forget about the importance of laying that solid foundation with AI-ready data.
Absolutely. No matter how exciting these AI technologies seem, it's crucial to remember that they're only as good as the data we feed them.
So true. Well, I feel like I've leveled up my AI knowledge today. Big thanks to you, as always, for breaking down this complex topic in such a clear and insightful way.
It's been my pleasure. This is a field that's constantly evolving, so it's always exciting to, explore the latest trends and possibilities.
And for our listeners, if you're feeling inspired to dive deeper into the world of AI, remember, you don't have to be a tech expert to start exploring. Just remember the key takeaways from our deep dive today and keep asking those why questions because the future of AI is being shaped right now. And it's up to all of us to understand its potential and help guide its development. Until next time, happy exploring.